The emotional pain is often worse than the physical scars. It's the hurtful words, the constant belittling, the relentless negativity that wears you down over time. It makes you question your value, your strength, your worth. But I refuse to let it break me. I am more than the hurt I've endured. Every day feels like a battle, but sometimes the hardest part is knowing that I'm fighting alone. It's the loneliness that makes the pain feel even worse. But even in this solitude, I'm learning that I don't have to carry this burden forever. I am not defined by my abuser's actions. There are moments when I feel like I'm disappearing, fading into the background as the abuse takes over my life. But even in those moments of darkness, I cling to the belief that I can rebuild myself, that I can rise from the ashes of this pain and find my way to a place of peace. The hardest thing about abuse is how it distorts your sense of reality. You start to doubt yourself, question your actions, wonder if you're the one to blame. But I'm learning that I am not at fault. I deserve respect, kindness, and love, not manipulation, control, and cruelty. Abuse wears many faces. Sometimes it's a slap. Sometimes it's a cruel word. But the most damaging form of abuse is the kind that manipulates your mind, that makes you question everything you know and everything you believe. But I won't let it win. I won't lose myself in this. I'm not broken. I may be bruised. I may be scarred, but I'm not broken. The pain of the abuse cuts deep, but I will heal. I will find my strength even in the midst of this darkness. And one day, I'll look back and see how far I've come. Some days feel impossible, like there's no way out, no escape from the constant cycle of pain. But even in those moments, I remind myself that I am worthy of more. I am worthy of peace, of love, and of respect. This abuse will not define me. There are days when it feels like the abuse will never end, like the weight of it will crush me. But in those moments, I remember that I have a choice. I can choose to break free, to take control of my life again, and to rebuild what's been destroyed. The hardest part about being abused is that it chips away at your confidence, your self-worth, your very sense of identity. But even when I feel like I've lost myself, I remind myself that I am more than the pain. I am capable of healing and reclaiming my life. In the darkest moments, it feels like the abuse will consume me, but even in those moments, I remember that there is always hope. There is always a way out, even when it seems impossible. And I hold on to that hope because it's the only thing keeping me going. Abuse is like a shadow that follows you everywhere you go. It's always there, lurking in the background, ready to pounce when you least expect it. But I refuse to let it control me. I will rise above it. I will fight for my peace, and I will break free. The emotional wounds from abuse are harder to heal than physical ones. They linger, hidden beneath the surface, constantly reminding you of the pain. But I refuse to let them define me. I will heal, I will grow, and I will find my way back to myself. Abuse isn't just about what's done to you. It's about how it makes you feel. It makes you feel small, insignificant, and unworthy. But I refuse to let it define my value. I know that I am worthy of love, of respect, and of happiness. And I will fight for that. It feels like I'm constantly walking on eggshells, trying to avoid doing something wrong, trying to make everything better, but no matter how hard I try, nothing ever seems good enough. I am tired, emotionally drained, and questioning if I will ever be free of this cycle. The hardest thing about being abused is the way it distorts your sense of self. You start to believe the lies, to question your own worth. But deep down, I know I am not defined by the abuse. I am defined by my strength, my resilience, and my desire to heal. Sometimes the pain of the abuse feels overwhelming, like a wave that keeps crashing over me. But even in the midst of that pain, I hold on to the belief that I can get through this, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even if I can't see it yet. The abuse I face makes me feel like I'm constantly living in fear, always wondering when the next attack will come. But I won't let fear control me. I won't let it dictate my life. I am taking back my power, one step at a time. The hardest part about this abuse is that it doesn't just affect me, it affects every part of my life, my relationships, my mental health, my sense of self. But I'm learning to take control of my story, to break free from the chains that have held me down for so long. The pain I feel right now feels like a weight, heavy and relentless, pulling me into a darkness that no one can see. But it's there, deep inside, shaping my every thought and emotion. It's a battle within, one that seems endless, yet I hold on to the hope that one day this storm will pass. Sometimes I wonder how I got here. How did I allow myself to be treated this way? The confusion, the anger, and the sadness all mixed together in a chaotic storm inside me, leaving me paralyzed and unsure of what comes next. But no matter how hard it gets, I refuse to let the abuse define who I am. I am tired of pretending like everything is fine when inside my soul feels broken. Every word, every gesture, every moment of cruelty cuts deeper than the last. leaving scars that no one can see. I wish for peace, for understanding, but most of all, for the strength to walk away from this darkness. The hardest part about this abuse is the silence. The way it isolates me makes me feel like I'm living in a world where no one truly understands. The anger, the shame, the hopelessness, it builds up inside, threatening to break me. But I keep breathing, I keep fighting, because I believe there's a way out of this. Right now, my mind is a battlefield, constantly torn between wanting to escape and wanting to fix everything. I'm caught in a place where love feels like a weapon, where kindness is twisted into cruelty, and where every day feels like an emotional roller coaster that I can't get off. There are days when I don't even recognize myself anymore. The joy that once filled my heart is replaced with doubt and fear. I don't know who I am in this situation, but I do know that I am worthy of more than this. My worth is not determined by how someone treats me. I feel trapped, suffocated by the weight of debt and actions that tear me down. There are moments when I wish I could just disappear, escape this cycle of pain. But then I remember that I am still here, still fighting, and that alone means something, means everything. Abuse doesn't just hurt the body, it shatters the spirit. The constant barrage of negativity, the insults, the manipulation, they chip away at who I am until I feel like I'm nothing. But even in this darkness, I remind myself that I am more than what has been done to me. The emotional scars from abuse are invisible, but they weigh more than anything physical. Every cruel word, every moment of disregard, every lie, they all etch themselves into my soul. And sometimes it feels like I'll never be free of them, but I hold on to hope because that's all I have left. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning, suffocating in a sea of negativity that never ends. The abuse is all consuming, wrapping itself around every thought, every action, every breath. But even in the depths of despair, there's a small part of me that refuses to let go. I am still here, and that counts for something. No one can truly understand what it feels like to be abused, to live with the constant barrage of negativity that warps your sense of self. But I know that I am not broken. I am just bruised. I will heal, even if it takes time, even if it takes every ounce of strength I have. The hardest thing about living in an abusive situation is the way it messes with your mind. The constant gaslighting, the confusing emotions, the sense of being trapped in a cycle of pain. It's enough to make anyone question their own reality. But I won't let it break me. I will find my way out. I feel like I'm walking through a fog, unable to see clearly. The world around me is clouded with doubt, and every step I take feels heavier than the last. But somewhere deep inside, I know that there is still light, that there is still hope. I just have to find it. Some days, I wish I could rewind time to before this all began, before the cruelty, the manipulation, the emotional warfare that left me shattered. But I can't go back. I can only move forward. And even though it feels impossible, I'm determined to find a way out of this darkness. The hardest part about abuse is that it's not always obvious. It's not always physical. The emotional and mental toll it takes is invisible, but it's there, eating away at me, making me question my worth and my ability to be loved. But I refuse to let this define me. I am stronger than I think. Abuse doesn't just break you, it changes you. It distorts your view of the world, of yourself, and of others. It's hard to trust, hard to love, hard to believe in anything when you've been torn down for so long. But I am learning to find my strength again, to remember who I was before this. There are days when the weight of the abuse feels unbearable, when it feels like everything is falling apart. But in those moments, I remind myself that I am still standing. I am still here, and that's something that can't be taken away from me.